my castle, their roles are assigned, their fates in the game, forever entwined. Under cover of night, the traitors will slay. Can a faithful fight back, or be the next play? Till death do us part, in shadows they hide. Murder and treachery, secrets and lies. They'll all stop at nothing for the ultimate prize. All are mere puppets in the world of the traitors. From the meek to the fierce, pawns to dictators, bound by the strings of the silent orchestrators. Every move, every breath, a twisted decree, a game of betrayal. No one's truly free. Till death do us part, in shadows they hide. Murder and treachery, secrets and lies. They'll all stop at nothing for the ultimate prize. All are mere puppets in the world of the traitors. Who can you trust when the darkness descends? The blade in the back, the whispers of friends. The court is a theater, the blood-stained stage, a dance of deception, a war in a cage. Till death do us part, in shadows they hide. Murder and treachery, secrets and lies. They'll all stop at nothing for the ultimate prize. All are mere puppets in the world of the traitors. Friend, come foe, come one, come all, to the highlands to see who lives and who falls. Jokers and fools, queens and kings, all are mere puppets on invisible strings.
And the time for talk is over. Hello.
I love that. Hi, guys.
Hi, Jackie. Hi, Sunshinery.
Hi, Kooch. How are you doing today?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. I hope you're staying warm because I know it's cold where you are.
Oh, it's freezing, but it's warming up. I mean, it's today, I think we're hitting the 30s, which is a nice change from what it was. So
Yeah, same here. I didn't like being
once
in
it
like
hits the
the
50s in
10s.
Cincinnati, people are pulling out their shorts and bathing suits. So
Well, we got some crazy people, even in my family, that wear shorts all year round. So I don't know. They're crazy.
it's that northern midwestern when you get the cold, like I don't know, like any kind of warmth. I remember watching Big Brother Canada, and they have like a little section, just a tiny section compared to the United States one, where they can go out and get fresh air, and there's like a jacuzzi out there and just a little square. It's just the smallest area, but they'll go outside, and if the sun is bright, they don't care if it's 20 degrees out there. They will lift their shirts up, pull their pants up, or wear shorts and lay out in the sun and get a tan because they're like these tough Canadians. It cracks me up.
Oh my God. Well, that's how people are in Maine too. Like my cousins will go out in t-shirts and shorts in like 10-degree weather, and I'm like, you're fucking nuts.
I
You're
know. Like, that's
nuts.
some tough stock up there.
Yeah.
But anyway, Um, so yeah, I guess you're staying warm too, hopefully.
Yeah, I am. I'm doing well. I'm staying inside.
Yeah, yeah. Best way. Hot
Yes, I
blooded.
actually found a new movie to watch, which is The Outfit. It's like a mob type boss movie from Chicago. It's about a guy that is a tailor and he owns a tailor shop and how he gets involved with the Chicago mob bosses. And it's, I haven't watched the rest of it. I've only watched a part of it. So that's what I will be doing after this. And that's on Peacock as well.
Oh, that sounds good. I love the mob type stuff. So
Me
that
too. And they
sounds.
have a new mob movie coming out as well.
It's funny, they've been interviewing the tailor here, and there's JD Vance has a local tailor in Cincinnati that has done all of his suits for about the past 6 or 7 years. So that's funny you said that, because then I just remembered, oh my gosh, they've been doing all these interviews with this tailor who is so adorable, this 90-year-old man that just hand
Oh my
stitches
God, I wonder if
everything.
it's
So cute, right?
I
Like,
wonder if it's based on him.
no, I doubt it, but that's just reminded me.
And my headphone just went off for some reason, so let me get that back. But anyways, yeah, so that's what I'll be doing.
Fun. Yeah, I don't. I think I've been rewatching Sons of Anarchy, um, over on Hulu, so I'll probably go back to that tonight. I'm in season
Ooh,
5, and it's so good.
I loved
Jax is.
Sons of Anarchy.
I know Jax is so hot. I cannot. He's so hot.
Yes.
So, Traitors episode 5 was titled "All This Murderous Power."
Oh, and it was.
And it was taken as a quote from, I think Derek is the one who said it, so they took the title from a quote Derek said. But, basically, it starts out, Bob was banished last week. I'm sorry, yeah, Bob was banished. They had at the beginning of the episode, they had, somebody was murdered. Who was murdered? I forget who now. Oh, Robin. Robin was murdered, and then Bob was banished. Oh no,
Yes.
Robin was murdered on this episode. See, all right. Anyway, at the end of the last episode, Bob was banished. We're just gonna start there, and then
Yeah, they
they have the
started off by talking about it this week.
right. The
We
traitors
get
are
ahead
in
of
the
ourselves.
chat, and Rob was apologizing and swearing that he would never ever turn on Danielle or Carolyn, is how the episode begins. Danielle is just saying that they wish that they had talked more first, and Rob's like, well, I tried, but I ran out of time. Hey, Welsh, Rose.
Hey, well,
And there's Jen, everybody coming in. Um, and let's see. Oh, and that says that Rob's not gonna control her.
which I can understand that, but she also feel like this is where like him and Bob butted heads with having like that want for power, and he's gonna be butting heads with Danielle for sure. They're both already
Yeah.
doing it.
And Rob will just come in and steal the power. You can't really butt heads with him. You gotta steal it like he does.
Yeah. And poor Caroline, she was just like, I thought we were supposed to be a team. Like, how are we a team?
I know. I love Carolyn. And then she points out that Rob's name was never even said specifically, that it was just 3 new guys. And Rob's like, yes,
Yes.
that's enough, Carolyn. That's enough.
I mean, I did see it that way too when Bob, like, he didn't have any room to speak because he had a head on the statue and he's throwing this out there in front of everybody. I saw it as throwing somebody under the bus as well, but I get it. It wasn't specifically his name. So
Right.
I get it.
I mean, I think Rob may or may not have overreacted, but I think that there was something at the very end that was said in, was it by Ivar or somebody? Oh, Bob, somebody. I mean, it's at the very end, but I just want to bring it up now really quick. Just about Rob. Oh, he was playing devil's advocate. That's right. And just like Rob needed to come in and assert his dominance and assert that he was in charge by
Yes.
um by going in and nailing another traitor.
It was Bob that said that. Rob
Yeah, and I
ate.
thought that was such an interesting take. And I just bring it up now because I think it's fitting with all of this to keep in mind that that's just Rob and his gameplay. It comes so natural to him.
And he even said, like, I've been watching Rob for years, and I can see that this is what he would do. And he is
Yep.
right on the money. And it's like, I hope you keep that thought in the back of your mind.
Yep. Um, and then Rob, he can tell the ladies aren't happy with him, but he's like, they, basically need to get over it. Let's figure out who we're kicking out. And they want to do somebody random, which I don't really know how this choice was random. But Rob says he wants Robin. Carolyn is like, nope, no housewives. Rob
And
says,
then
but
they
a
throw out
housewife?
Sam.
Yeah, she throws out Sam. Rob's like, no, but a housewife is perfect because it causes chaos. Oh,
It
wait,
does.
and then Carolyn suggested Gabby,
Yes.
who Danielle suggested Sam.
Yes.
Okay, yeah, Danielle suggested Sam, Carolyn, Gabby, and Rob wanted Robin. Um, Rob also said that the Bambis don't even vote together, so they're not a threat. Hey, PMR.
Hey.
Yep, not that Laura Marie. They sure did. You're just a true Boston Rob fan, understand? He's kind of incredible, and just the way he talks cracks me up. He's so
I'm kind of a
monotone, but so
fan.
powerful. He's like, him and Nikki are both like these monotone kind of people that don't show much, but he exerts so much power, whereas Nikki just, kind of fell off.
But Nikki isn't
It's interesting that,
monotone. She's not like that on the WWE. She's not like that on the Bella show. It's only here in Traitors, which is weird. I don't know if maybe
wow.
because she's a mom now and she's more settled, that maybe like that's why, but she's always been very outspoken, very loud, very bright, and I'm not seeing it. I'm not seeing it at all.
Hi, Christine Fortunato.
Hello. It's
Yeah,
definitely
that's what
interesting.
I know, and I guess because I've never seen Nikki before, it's just who she is to me. So it's just surprising that she
Yeah.
is like from what you say of her. It kind of So Carolyn then is saying that in the confessionals that Rob is trying to control everything, and she cannot stand his ass. And this is just quintessential Carolyn because this is how she was all through Survivor. There were specific people that she could not stand, but she was still able to play with them um, and keep the game going and not let it get in her way. It was crazy. She just has
She
a way of
doesn't say much. That's
yes.
why.
Yeah, she's really good at covering it. So I loved seeing her say that she couldn't stand his ass because it just really brought me back to how she played Survivor and a couple of the male enemies that she had on Survivor that she couldn't stand. And one of them went for, stayed in the game for quite a long time that she had to deal with, and he was part of her alliance. So,
Wow. I loved how Danielle was like in her confessional, she's like she wants like Rob out of it too. And she wants to do it though when they least expect it. And like if it was a mafia guy, that's what you would do, like a silent assassin. And I have to agree there with her, though I think that like her not coming together with Rob is probably a worse decision than her trying to go after him.
oh yeah, by the end of by the end of the show,
Yeah.
she's a little crazy. And what I thought through the entire show, and I was glad Derek finally brought it up, is like with a player like Rob and like a player like Derek, a player like Wes, a player like Danielle, with these really strong Survivor and Big Brother players, they know that when you go after somebody that is that powerful, you need to get them on the first strike. If you hit and miss, then you're gonna die. You're not
Yes.
gonna live to see another day. So I was glad that Derek said that at some point. But with Danielle saying, playing the silent assassin, it's basically the same thing. You better get them on that first shot, or you're gonna be done.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
So I like to see it. It's a very Survivor slash Big Brother way to play the game.
For sure.
um, so then they end the confessional and the morning, or not the confessional. They are the tower scene ends and they are all coming into breakfast, and you've got Danielle and, oh my gosh, what's his first name?
Dylan.
Charlie Efron. Danielle, Dylan, and Tom. I've just got Efron written.
And goddamn Sandoval, always looking like a deer in the headlights. Like he had a shocked face that he was the first people in there. Like, bro,
His
stop
face was so
overacting.
stupid. I took pictures too. Like what I've been doing is just taking pictures on my camera from the TV, but I forgot to load them up. So let me I'm gonna load these while we talk.
That's actually a good way. I was gonna do that on my computer because I know I can like screenshot, but I can't do it on my print screen. But I could do it that way. That's a good way to do it. I didn't even think about that.
I meant to take pictures of some of the fashions too, but I just didn't. I got your shocked face of his, and then I took one. Let's see.
I will
Okay.
say Dylan was happy that last night they got Bob the drag queen out and he was like on top of the world. He was saying like he looked up to Boston Rob his entire life and that them getting a traitor out successfully is like a pinch to him of like a dream. So that was interesting to hear like when they first were sitting down. And they talk about Bob's speech at the end, and Dylan said it's almost like they tore him to pieces. Like he felt like he was getting torn to pieces by Bob's speech, but then at the end, it was just like a shock to him because he was actually a traitor. And Danielle was just like, oh, the entire time. And of course, Sandoval had nothing to say like he normally does.
Okay, of course. I was listening. I had it muted, but
Oh, it's okay.
I wanted to, because if I didn't mute, you guys would have gotten some horrible feedback. So these are the shocked pictures. Sunshinery sent me this one. She was trying everywhere to find that because she
Yes.
wasn't able to do a screenshot. So that's what she got. And it was really stupid that he looked so stupid because there was like nobody in there to be shocked by. I mean,
Yes.
I'm shocked by your stupid outfit, Tom. That's what I'm shocked by.
Oh my.
That stupid hat. So then I took a screen grab, or I took a picture of it. And sadly, I've got a window glare in all of my pictures.
It happens.
There's a shot too of Tom's stupid eyes and mouth being all shocked. He was like in the room, like with people, and he wasn't dead. I don't know.
But you're the first ones in there. Like, did he expect to not be the first one in there?
I know.
Like,
Did you expect you wouldn't walk in the room and that you have two legs to walk in the room? Like, what's your shock?
right. Exactly.
It's so weird. Okay, so let's see. Now I got to get back to my notes.
No problem. The next group comes in. It's I can't say her name today. Trezelle. I know I just said,
Chrishell,
but Chrishell. I just butchered it again.
because
She,
of Trishelle. It's
Chrishell,
confusing. It's
yes.
so confusing, those two names. So
She
I've done
looked
it wrong.
amazing, though. Again, I love her outfits. And Bob H. and Wes also came in with her.
Yes. Bob H had a sweater on with a bunch of Scotties on it. Scotty
Oh, it was
dogs.
so cute.
Scotty Terriers. It was so cute.
Yes, and Bob
Um,
was like at the round table, everyone was on like a high that they had found a traitor and they had hunted him out. But Bob also tells as a group that it was crazy what happened at the round table that night. And of course, Sandoval has like the dumbest look on his face yet again. He's like, I think I knocked my chair over. It's like, what? That's what you got from the round table? You're really not playing the game, buddy.
it's so weird. So then
But
we
then
have next we
Wes
have Rob.
says too,
Oh,
though, he says real quick, he says that it's weird that two or three people knew that it was coming and that they were cheering first.
yeah,
And
that there were
Danielle
two or three
agreed.
people referring that there's traitors there, at least two traitors, if not three. that were
Yep.
cheering even though they knew it. Yep. A little nod to the fact that traitors are there.
Uh-huh.
Then we've got Rob, Dolores, and Britney next. And Rob is telling the confessional that the fact that he came at Bob Q with such conviction could put a target on him now, and he needs to prepare himself if he's confronted. Because Rob is Rob, and Wes and Derek, same type of way. They're players that are trying to think 5 steps ahead of what could happen if confronted now with this situation that Rob has put himself in. So
I didn't understand though what Brittany's wearing the same outfit that she wore the first day.
Thank you. I thought that was weird.
Like,
I'm
what are
like,
you
why do
doing,
I feel like
girl?
I've seen this before?
Yes.
That's why. Thank you. It was driving me crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Maria.
It was.
It was
I
driving
was
me.
like, why would you do that? Like, don't you have a fashion, girl? Like, you're gonna be at a show. Like, get some new outfits. Some like I don't know. Maybe she
Right? Did
didn't
she think
expect to
she
be
was
there
going to
for
be
that
first
long,
evicted or first murdered in
right?
two
I didn't
outfits?
get
I'm not
that.
going to stay. And then we have Nikki, Ciara, and Derek in next, and Nikki's happy. She's telling the confessional that she's happy. She wasn't murdered, but she knows she's still a target. Um, then she asks Brittany, who she thinks was murdered, and Brittany thinks that might have been Gabby because they need to split up the Bambis.
Which I mean, her name was thrown out there.
Yep. Um, then we have Carolyn and Ivar in next. And then Bob H is like to Danielle, Carolyn always seems so disheveled. And she does. She
Yeah,
comes in like she's out of breath, like she's running a marathon. And
and
like
he even
just
asked her. He's like, "Did you run around the block?"
right. And then like she saved some baby birds along the way or something. She's just always so
But she was just like, she looked at Derek and was just like, I have these heels on and like, it's so hard to walk up and down the stairs. Like, I'm like out of breath. I'm like, that was a good save. It
it
might be
was
the truth though, too.
it probably is because she just always looked that way on Survivor too. It's who she is, and it's why people don't take her seriously. So it works for her because in Survivor they sorely underestimated her too, and she made it to the end, like it was pointed out last night or last night, like
Hmm.
on the show. I say last night, like it was on last night. Let's
And
see.
Danielle, it says in her confessional at that point too, like her mind's going like 50 miles an hour today, and all she can think about is getting rid of Boston Rob. And in order to do that, she needs a traitor that will work with her,
Yep.
and she needs someone that she can trust. And right now, it's not Carolyn.
Yep. And I'm like, oh shit. Oh snap. No,
Right? And I'm like,
Danielle, no.
wait, but why? Like, she already had this in her head, and we'll get to that later, but it's like you already had this in your head. Why? Why?
Yeah. Yep. That was that. Oh my god. I'm like, no, Danielle, you're making it so hard for me to root for you this season.
I know.
um. So then, Gabby so then basically the next people in, they're gonna figure out who was murdered. Um, murdered. Right? How Alan says it. Pippi goes murdered, not
Murdered.
murdered. I can't. So then Gabby and Sam are next in, and they realize that Robin, the Real Housewife of Potomac, yeah, was murdered.
Yes. Yep.
Um, I found, of course, like when Robin was murdered, I'm like, my first thought is, of course, Rob got his way.
Yes.
Robin was murdered, which means Rob got his way in the confessional. And then I think they split, they show the confessional at that point, and they show Rob getting his way, and they show Danielle kissing Rob's ass. Like, oh, but Rob, you know everything. So of course I'll just go with what you say, right, Carolyn? And Karen's like, mm.
Yes. And
Karen's
it's
like,
like you
well,
just said that you didn't want, like, you're not going to let anyone control you, but here you are agreeing.
licking his, well, licking.
His
licking his
taint.
butt.
You said it right.
Like, wait, I'm not doing a 90-day show. I'm doing a real show. Let me use proper language.
I mean, they don't really use proper language here, too, though.
So, but I was trying to be polite and say butt, not taint, but whatever. I wanted to say taint. um, so let's see. Simon, I love how Simon enters the room and just throws the pictures. Like, I love it.
Alan, you mean?
Yeah. Why did I say Simon? Alan. I wrote Simon on here too.
I
Why?
loved his like little thing. He's like, "Good morning, my confessed little clique. Morning is broken, and sadly, so has the news that Robin is no longer with us. Robin robbed indeed of life." I'm like, "Oh, you are so good, Alan."
Yes, Robin robbed indeed of life. That was. Oh my geez. And he can say it without it sounding like it's corny, but the way he says it, he can make it uncorny-ish, sort of. Yes, Lauren Marie,
Yes.
I'm an idiot, and for whatever reason I wrote Simon there. He felt like Simon to me in that moment. I don't know
Listen,
why.
I've been doing that too, though, with Brittany and Gabby. I've been writing Gabby where it's Brittany and Brittany where it's Gabby. So I've been mixing people up too.
Who the hell is Simon even? I don't know where I got the name Simon.
Simon Cowell, maybe?
Yeah, I have no idea. Was there a Simon? Because wasn't Alan on Queer Eye for the straight guy? Was there a Simon on there? I don't know.
I don't
Anyway,
think so.
it's Alan, not Simon. Which is
Yes.
funny
And
because later on I write Alan, and I'm like, oh crap, I called him by a different name somewhere in my notes, but I don't remember where.
that's what I did, though, with Brittany and Gabby. And I actually had to go back and find it because I was like, I know I fucked that up.
Those Pee Wee Herman versus Tom Sandoval in a boxing match. Oh, well, Alan would win.
Yeah. I mean, listen, Sandoval has his little muscle strength going on because he works out, but like Alan is just sly and quick, and I don't think Sandoval could have it. He'd
Shay
probably feel
solved the
bad hitting
mystery.
him.
Shay solved the
Ooh.
mystery of where I got it from. Simon said.
There you go.
It had to
Because
be that.
he does say too, like at that part that they're going to be like going to their next mission, so get ready to be prepared for it. And he says that it's going to be a puzzle.
Yes.
So he lets that out of the box.
Yep. And so then he leaves and Dolores is upset and she's like, please, anybody, I need shields. I'm gonna be next. It's housewives, we're targets, blah blah.
But I do understand that because
Yeah.
even last season, like the the housewives were such an alliance,
Hi
and
baby.
it really went to the end. So people are fearful.
Yeah. Yeah. And she
So I
does
can
have
see
right to
that.
be upset.
Yeah.
Definitely.
I,
But she's not the only one who is in such need too. But then
yes.
everybody else is they think is a traitor. They don't necessarily think she's a traitor to vote to banish, but maybe to murder.
Yes.
It's weird. So then Ivar is um talking about Wes's theory to Carolyn and Derek that Wes had said the
Yes.
night before about how only the only way to know a traitor is a 100% a traitor is if you're a traitor. So
Yes.
Ivar is really big on this thing, and he's talking to Carolyn and Derek about it. Derek's like, kind of agreeing, and Carolyn is now realizing that it's put a big target on Rob's back. And then do you have anything to add on that? Because then right after that, something was really funny was said by Bob H to Tom.
Oh, I did pick that up. You can say it though.
Bob H scolded Tom for eating so much.
Yes. He's like, put it down. And Tom's like mumbling with food in his mouth. He's like, one more, Bob, one more. And Bobby's just like, you're going to have lunch. Come on.
It was so funny.
I'm
Like
like, of course he would.
that's the Bob we love from,
Yes.
celebrity weight loss or whatever it was.
Yes.
So funny. Oh, I gotta put the background of Gabby being eliminated. Let's see
There
which one
you
is it.
go.
There we go. Right
I
there.
will say Bob H does say Nikki is in her like crosshairs, and Gabby says that she's acting very different and she's nervous. And it's crazy that Gabby is noticing this because Gabby's supposed to be like her ride or die at this point.
Right. Right. But
Mm,
then Nikki's like, we are so smart and they think we are so dumb. And Gabby's like, yeah, we're smart. They're dumb.
yes. And then
Um,
Chrishell comes in and joins them. And
yes.
this is my favorite part when Chrishell's like, we're talking about our girl, or Nikki's like, we're talking about our girl group. And she asked if Bob H wants to join it. And Bob H is like, yes, I want to be part of the
I
Bambies.
know. I love that for Bob. Hey, Chantal. I love that for
Hello.
Bob.
Yes. I love Bob H.
Pippi in her mind, she's playing the game and she's winning. That's what's so awesome about these type of competition games, is because you can kind of put yourself in their shoes and think about what you might do. And it seems
Mm,
way easier on the couch than it is when you get there, but
it's not.
it's way easier on the couch. Let's see. And then we've got so yeah, Bob wants to be a Bambi, and then you've got Rob, Ivar, and Sam talking. Rob's trying to use his game-winning logic and trying to I thought this was a good attempt by Rob. He's trying to remind people about the caskets and how
Mm,
Jeremy was killed, but Nikki and Ciara weren't. And that they're possibly, the traitors because they weren't killed. So he's trying to, bring people
yes.
back to that. But then Ivar asked Rob about what Wes said and said that Wes had been coming hard for Rob. Sam agrees
Yes.
with Ivar and then they tell him the traitor theory that Wes had, that I said before about how only a traitor would be the one to 100% know who another traitor is. Um,
Yep.
but then they're like, well, maybe Wes was just deflecting and he's the real traitor because they don't want Rob to get mad at them. So then they throw that in
Yes.
at the end.
Which Rob then like leaves immediately and he finds Wes to ask
Yeah,
him about this, which I thought was crazy. And Wes, he
I
says,
know.
did you say my name? And Wes is like, no, I didn't, which is, here we go. Wes never specifically said Rob's name.
No,
He
he
just
did.
said, if somebody knows for 100% that someone else is a traitor, then they might be a traitor. It was a theory.
This to me was reality show competition, like I don't even know what word to use that would be applied. It was almost orgasmic, for lack of another word that I can think of, because you've got Wes, who is this amazing challenge beast, and Rob, who is this
Mm,
amazing survivor beast. And
yes,
you've got these two of my favorite beasts in all the shows
I
are like
know.
butting heads, and I am so here for it. I replayed the scene a few times. I couldn't get enough
Yes.
of it because this is the stuff that I want to see. These beasts like be beasts with each other and see how they do.
I love that Rob kept like repeating himself, like, "Are you sure you didn't say my name? Are you sure you didn't say my name?" And it's kind of like the game of telephone at this point because that's not exactly what Lord said, even though Lord's been saying it like I call him Lord, but Ivar keeps saying it the same way every single time. But when Rob repeats it back to West, it's like, well, he said you said my name. And that's not what was said, though that's how it's now interpreted. And West is just like, I was actually giving you like kudos because like I wouldn't do something like that and just say that I was 100% sure about somebody's name. And like, you know, I can see where West was coming from and trying to throw it back. It was a great scene, like you said. It was really good.
Yeah, it was. And then we've got Wes in the confessional. Yeah, just saying that he needed to get Rob to believe it, even though he was the one that started the rumors. He needs to make sure Rob doesn't know that, clearly.
Yep. And he's like, Rob is more than likely a traitor, and he's just afraid to put the evidence out there because he has all of the murderous power, which is true. So we're going to see this with Wes, I think, down the line.
Yeah, and then a little while later, we've got Derek kind of in the mix of it too, and I got even more excited. Like, yes, Beast, my big brother Beast, all three of them.
Yes.
It's amazing. So then Rob pulls Carolyn aside, and he's reassuring her, saying that she's the only person that he trusts.
Yep. And
um,
Karen's in her confessional, like, Rob's doing a good job telling her this, but it's like he said it's you and me till the end, but why wouldn't she feel like he's going to come for her? And it's exactly true. But it's more Danielle that she needs to worry about.
right, it sure is. So
Mm-hmm.
Danielle then finds Carolyn right after that.
Yes.
This is where all the shit really goes down. So you want to go ahead and explain this one?
Yeah. So Danielle asked her how she's feeling about what went down with Rob yesterday, and Carolyn tells her, it's scary. And then she asked Danielle, like, what she thinks. And it's like they aren't on a team, and Danielle agrees. And Carolyn tells her that Rob has been coming to her, telling her that he has her back no matter what. And is he doing the same to Danielle? And Danielle is just like, not really. And Danielle says in her confessional that like she's concerned now that she doesn't know if Carolyn and Boston Rob have a survivor alliance, and clearly they are working together.
Right. And they're not, because she hates Rob, but there's no survivor alliance there.
Yes.
But so then I guess they then head off to the mission, and Rob is telling Nikki that Bob the drag queen said her name, that he was going to vote for her. Like he was insinuating that she was a traitor to Rob. Rob said that this was a complete lie. Bob never tells the confessional it was a lie. Bob never said that. He's just trying to take suspicion away from himself. So that's why he said
Mm-hmm.
it.
Yep.
Then they get
Ciara's
there
in the
and they,
other card too, saying that she wants a
yes,
shield because
yeah,
she knows it's going to be her versus Nikki at the round table. And of course, Sandoval is like, he still thinks it's Nikki as a traitor, and if she isn't a traitor, she's just a bad faithful. And he's saying it to Gabby and Derek, like, again, Nikki's friend, like,
right.
whatever.
So then at this point, they get to the mission, and they go into a beautiful church, and Alan looks like the Statue of Liberty, like a beautiful Statue of Liberty. I
I didn't
loved
see
it.
it that way, but I took it as he looked like the Virgin Mary because, like, if you see the Mary cross, like the Mary statue, she always has that same kind of crown on her head.
Yes.
I see the Statue of Liberty now too. I do.
I can also see the Virgin Mary too. I can, with the crown and that. I get it. That's funny. So take your choice. You look like the Virgin Mary or the Statue of Liberty, but it was a beautiful Tiffany blue glitter. It was gorgeous.
Oh yes, it was a beautiful outfit.
So then he explained the game to him, saying that he's going to tell a riddle. The person must pick the answer to the riddle with the corresponding urn. Um, and they've got 20 seconds to do it. When they bust the urn, if gold dust comes out, they got it correct, and we'll add $2,500 to the pot. If they get it wrong, then there's like a black glitter dust that comes out.
Yes, and they have to step over the ceremonial line first, which is a big thing.
Right. And then each time you get an answer right, you get to pick a picture of somebody to get the shield. So you're going to pick yourself to get the shield, is how you would think you're going to do it. So, but at the end, 2 pictures will be up. Those 2 people will have the shield, but throughout the game, the pictures are changing. As each person gets a question right, they can take one down and choose one to put up.
And I
So
have to point this out too. Sandoval says that he
yes,
is pretty good at riddles, that he has read a few Dan Brown books, and he's very well versed in the Harry Potter series. And in fact, Lord Voldemort used to be called Tom Riddle, and he is kind of challenging his inner Tom Riddle, which I need to point this out because Tom Riddle, yes, is his name. But when Lord Voldemort changed his name when he became a Dark Lord, it was because he despised his muggle father who left his mother while she was pregnant, and he didn't want the name to ever be associated with him anymore. So it's like, do you really know your Harry Potter, Sandoval? Because I do.
I
And I'm
was
not even that big in Harry Potter.
I don't know Harry Potter at all, but when I'm like, he's like, I'm gonna be giving Tom Riddle energy. I'm like, that's your big dick energy to this Tom Riddle or whatever. And I was also like, who the hell is Dan Brown? I had no idea.
I had no
Um,
idea who that was.
I guess Tom is more well read than I am because I don't know of a Dan Brown. I don't know of Harry Potter stuff or this Tom Riddle energy.
Yeah, more like Lord Voldemort energy that, like, wants to get Harry Potter, but not Tom like he did. Like, I get, like, in Harry Potter they do riddles with their spells, but like that was not even like, he knows nothing about Harry Potter, clearly. It was Ariana that knew more about Harry Potter. She was the fan.
That's hilarious that he didn't even get it right. So they have the very first question, and Bob wants to go right away because he just wants a shield for himself, and he wasn't even listening to the question. He picks wrong,
Wow, I know.
and
I wrote all
loses.
the questions, the riddles down that they
Okay,
do
good.
give
I
out.
didn't take the time to do that, so go ahead if you want. Then
So the first riddle was, for faithful and traitor, no goal is greater. Earning this counts as it all amounts. Will someone betray for one of these massive paydays? So Bob, like you said, crosses over, and he's only thinking that he wants the shield. So he didn't hear it, he didn't know the riddle, what any of that. He goes right for the word shield.
yep. He sure does. And I was thinking, like, I didn't pay that much attention to the question, but I heard that there was like the reference to money in the question or whatever. So I instantly thought gold, but I wasn't sure of my answer. But it turns out gold was the
You
right
were
answer.
right. Yes, you were right on, girl.
Um, then we've got Derek next. And what was
Yeah.
his riddle?
So that riddle was, when things go wrong with your plans, take a look at the hands, as under close inspection, it will help you find your direction. And I immediately thought compass when I heard this, and
Yep.
so did Derek.
Yep. So
And he
Derek
was
got it
right.
right. And he, of course, chose his own portrait for
Yes, which
safety.
I thought it was smart because, of course, like, you want the shield, so why wouldn't you pick yourself?
Right, right.
And Derek did help everybody out last time, and he didn't even care if his head got on a statue. So for
That's
him to be selfish, I didn't see it as a problem.
no, and I don't even see that as a selfish move. I think it's an expected move. I think I think if you pick somebody else, you need to be careful because that could lay suspicion on you. Because
I agree.
why wouldn't you feel safe? So
Exactly.
it makes the most sense to pick yourself. So um but Derek gave a little speech about how this might seem selfish, but I'm gonna pick myself. And then we've got
Riddle number
Tom.
3.
Yes, Tom
Yes.
next.
And it says, I have no feet, yet I dance. And that was the riddle.
God, I wanted him to get it wrong.
Well, see, I thought the same thing too. I was like, okay, what dances that has no feet? Oh, fire. And of course he got it right. So he picked himself,
Yep.
which, I mean, it's
Um,
expected.
and then next we have her where she starts to lose the game. We've got Danielle next.
But I want to point out too, before
Oh,
this, so Brittany says, of course, people are going to pick themselves, and she's going to sit back because if people are going to pick themselves, the chances of their face staying up there isn't going to last, clearly. So she's going to wait till the end, which makes complete sense with this whole game.
Right.
But
Right.
riddle number 4 was marking the landscape. It's a natural feature. One supposedly has an infamous creature. Which, like you said, Danielle jumps over that line. And I didn't realize that Locke was up there. And she picked Locke for the Loch Ness Monster, which she was right.
Okay. Yeah, I
And
didn't know that one at all.
she picks not herself. Were you surprised about that?
I was. She decides she wants to be unselfish and appear like a faithful is what in her mind she's thinking. She takes it the opposite, that people will think that she's unselfish. She's so unselfish she couldn't possibly be a traitor, and she
Yeah.
picks Dolores.
And Rob is just
But
sitting there going, "What are you doing?"
but in order to pick Dolores, then she's got to remove somebody, and this is crazy that she removes
Yes.
Derek. Her and Derek have like a relationship outside of the game. They both have podcasts for Big Brother. She's been on Derek's podcast many times. Derek's got a podcast called The Winner Circle, and it's him and another Big Brother player that both have won the season. And they've had Danielle on there a few times. Him and Danielle have become really good friends, and it was just crazy to me that she picked Rob over Tom Sandoval.
Right? And she
Removed.
says something like she begged for a shield from Derek and he didn't give it to her. And I'm like, when did that happen?
The very first episode that they came in where they were able to give shields to people just
Oh, what?
randomly,
See,
and
that's
she
stupid.
wanted Derek's and he didn't give it to her. I can't
See, I
remember.
thought
Did he
that
give
was
it
stupid.
to I can't forget who he gave it to. I know
Yeah.
yeah,
But
but
Sandoval's
yeah.
face is that O face again, like, oh my God, she didn't pick me. I'm like, oh my God, you were so overacting. This is why you were never an actor.
Right. But yeah, that was insane. That was another horrible game move by Danielle. Right, Nurse
Yes,
Jen. It was such a bad move.
it
Like
was.
I it just and it. I hope it comes back to bite her really right
Well,
away.
Danielle said she thinks that Sandoval is a maverick and that she's trying to get him on her side. And I'm thinking again, she's very wrong, and he will throw her under the bus in a second. That is who he is. And clearly, she has no clue about Sandoval and what he did because that is the type of person Tom Sandoval is.
I didn't even know what the word maverick meant. I had to look it up. Yeah, but the definition here says one who shuns custom, the lone wolf, one who blazes their own trail and is willing to go against the crowd, an independent thinker.
Yeah, I don't think so. She's got
I
them all wrong.
Yeah, I had no idea what maverick meant, so I am glad I looked it up and I learned something. But I'm like, that's not Tom.
Nope.
I mean, Tom wants to appear that way and he tries to make himself appear that way on the outside, but that's not what his insides are really made of.
Exactly. And this is where like we lose the riddles until the very last one. So you can go from there. We're at riddle 5 though.
Okay. So then we had, let's see. Um
It was Chrishell.
Chrishell and Bob. Wait a minute. I scroll too much. Let me see. I don't know if I need to go backwards or forwards. Just a sec. Wait, Rob got his way, so I'm way backwards. Okay, here's the game. Okay, let's Tom. Oh, okay, so yeah, Chrishell was next. And she got it right, and she picked herself to put up and took Tom down.
Yes, because
And
she is an
then
Ariana fan. She's a friend of hers. And he was just like, of course she's going to do this and remove my face. Duh. It's like,
yeah,
well, yeah. And it brings her happiness and it brings him pain. And it's like, this is what you get.
Right. I was here for it. Loved it.
Me too.
And then the next round, and Tom is out in the second round. He gets it wrong. They didn't say what the riddle was,
No.
unfortunately.
He's not
But
that good at riddles, though, apparently.
right, because he was out then. And then we've got Danielle is up again, and she gets it right. And
Yep.
for a second time, she chooses not to save herself, but she goes in and she saves Derek.
Well, Derek is shouting at her after she gets it right. Like, what are you going to do now? You know, still hang out with the housewives kind of a thing. And
Right.
I
So
think that threw her off a little bit.
I think she felt really guilty for also taking Derek down in the first
Yes.
place. So
And if
she
Rob is sitting in the back, like, what are you doing?
she takes Chrishell down and puts Derek up. So you've got Derek and Dolores in the safety spots.
Yes.
And everybody is like, even Chrishell is suspicious. Like, everybody is suspicious.
But even Dolores was like, you know, you don't have to do this. Like, and Dolores puts out the best question. She goes, do you feel like you're like safe from murder? And that's when Danielle kind of is like, oh shit, I messed up.
Yep.
And she starts to cry. And Derek's like, oh, you know, she's just realizing it now. And Dolores is sitting there like, no, nope, I'm not playing this.
I love
There's some
that.
red flags here. And I'm like, good, Dolores. Yep,
Yep,
you
I
got
love
it, girl.
because that was so stupid, Danielle. Danielle was so cocky, and that was so stupid. So,
I, I'll
um,
give her credit. She had some nice real tears there.
were they real?
I
That's
mean, maybe she realized she messed up and that, you know, her theory wasn't going to work out. So maybe they were real, but
okay. So they
I
were
mean,
more scared
Sandoval
than
can't cry
tears,
on cue. That's for damn sure.
right? So then Ciara is last, and she
Yes, the
chooses
final riddle.
correctly, and
And
she takes.
the riddle is, they gave us this one. Roughly the size of a human fist. If your body didn't have me, I'd surely be missed.
Oh yeah, I
Which
got
was
this.
perfect for Ciara.
It
But Danielle and
was.
Ciara, oh my God, I paused it like right at the right time. They jumped at the same time. And I really, really thought that Danielle was going to be the one to get both feet on there first, but it was Ciara. I was really shocked.
I cannot believe that I didn't catch that, and that is really stupid for Danielle too. I mean,
And of course, Ciara gets it right. She's a nurse. She
I'm so
knows
glad
that the
Ciara beat
heart is
her.
the size of a fist.
So then we've got Ciara and Dolores in the end are the ones that got the shields. The game's over, and they're headed back. And
And they
Danielle
added
is.
15K to the pot.
So what is the pot like 170 now? I
I
didn't
don't
write the total
remember what he
down.
said. I don't have it in the notes below,
Okay,
but
yeah, I didn't write the total down. I missed it completely. But
that's
I'm
fine.
thinking it was 155 last week, if I remember
Yeah.
correctly.
So not
Um,
bad. They're
so
making
then
it up
Danielle
there.
decides that she's going to need to do a whole bunch of deflecting if she's got any hopes. And so in the car on the way back, she starts it and says that Nikki and Ciara, and tells like she's got who she got in the car. She's got Efron, Ivar, and Wes in the car. Or as Jackie says, Efron, or no, you say Dylan, Lord, and Wes.
Yes.
So Efron, Lord, and Wes are in the car with Danielle.
Yeah, and
And
Danielle throws out her crazy theory at this point.
yes, would you
I'm
like
like,
to explain that? That was
yeah, she's like, she tells Wes and Dylan and Lord that she thinks that the traitor left Ciara and Nikki in the game so that they would banish them. And she thinks a traitor is a female and no one is saying her name. And she throws Carolyn's name out there.
oh, I couldn't believe it.
I couldn't believe it either.
I'm like,
I think
wow.
Carolyn's going to be mad when she sees this too.
Yes. I'm like, Danielle, what are you doing? Your game is going from bad to worse. Like,
Yeah, I
Nurse Jen,
agree.
what were you thinking at this point? I've got to know. This was crazy. And then they get back. Oh wait, and then Efron, he doesn't agree though. Like they're walking back
No.
in. He's like, "Yeah, Danielle, I don't really think I agree with your theory on that."
He's like, I hear you, but I don't agree.
And then she's in the house and she's trying to put whispers out to anybody she can that Carolyn's a traitor. Carolyn's a traitor.
Yes. I
Um,
think
but
that her, like, I don't know if she's using her brain at this point because, like, if they, I don't know. I just think she's not using her brain. Like, they should be working together. I know she sees Rob as a threat, but, like, this isn't going to work out in her favor.
no, you can't be against both of them. I mean,
Yeah.
you need at least one of them on your side. It's not going to work out in her favor. She's being far too ambitious.
Yes.
um, um, so she pulls Britney and says to Britney that Carolyn was saying Britney's name.
Yes.
So she's sort of lying to Britney. Basically, Carolyn said, as a traitor, they should murder Britney. That's how her name was said.
I was like, but you've also said people's names. That's a really bad theory there, girl, but whatever.
Right. And then Chrishell goes to Rob and
Yes.
swears that she thinks Nikki is a traitor because Nikki in the car got because of Nikki's expression in the car when what was
Hmm.
it when
When Rob told her that Bob the drag queen put out her
right.
name, she got this really shocked face, and Trishelle was just like it sent ice down her veins, and it was a very shocked face, and I can see where Trishelle might feel this way because Nikki is a performer and she always has to overly exert emotions, especially in the WWE. So I saw where Trishelle was coming from with it.
So and that one time where she decided to show a whole ton of shock face emotion that because she hadn't
Yes.
shown any of her emotions before that. That is suddenly what made Gabby suspicious, I guess, or Chrishell. I'm sorry, Chrishell
Yep.
suspicious.
Yep.
Um,
And then we have
so
Wes sitting down with Derek, Danielle, Brittany, Rob, and this is where Wes tells them that he is like 95% sure Nikki again, and he wanted to like kind of find out what everybody else felt. And Derek asked Rob where like his head was at, and he says, that it's very logical and it makes sense, and he's looking at either Ciara or Nikki at this point.
yes, um, and then Derek mentions Rob and says that Rob is definitely on his radar because he has seen a demeanor shift towards. Derek has felt Rob's demeanor shift towards him.
Yeah.
Very observant, which is why it
Yes.
makes these people kind of beastly because they're able to pick up on the cues that not everybody, takes the time to pay attention.
But he also says too, like he's going to pick. He also he says Ciara, like he says Ciara's name completely wrong, like Ciara, and I'm like it's Ciara, but he says he's going to pick Ciara at the round table, and I'm like okay, that's fine, but it doesn't end up happening, and it's like where did you change up? That's what I wanted to know, and I
I
still
guess
think that he felt Ciara because of her swearing. And that
right,
he's in a cop, he interrogates people, and when people swear it's like people are different. Like I get very vocal and I like to swear, and that doesn't mean I'm lying. That's just who I am as a person, and Ciara's the same way.
right, right. Um, and then we've got the round table beginning with Nikki and Ciara both being scared. Rob
Yeah.
is also anxious. Ivar starts speaking right away and puts it out on the table that the three people, hey, Glenn Crack, the
Hey
three
Glenn.
people, he is the three people whose names have been mentioned are Nikki and Ciara and Rob, and those are what should be discussed, and tells Rob
Yes.
that he should explain why he's not a traitor.
And Sandoval's face again. I don't know if I just noticed him because I don't like him, but his face again is like a deer in headlights. Like, oh my god! Ugh.
I didn't see it. That's so
I,
funny.
I I watch him way too much, and I think like the cameraman or the editors notice this too, and they're like just showcasing how much of a damn idiot he really is. I
Oh my
swear
god.
at this point.
Now I feel like I need to watch it like a third time because now I need to go back and see these faces. Glenn Crack, you
He
cannot
looks
wait
the
for
same every time, though.
um, let's see. Then we've got so then Rob is like, well, how Bob the drag queen acted was what gave me conviction. He says that he's all smooth.
Yeah.
He says that suspicious people turn accusations onto the accusers. And so that is what gave him even more conviction because when he first brought it up, Bob, the drag queen, just turned it around on him. So that just gave him all that much more conviction to know that
Yep.
Bob, the drag queen, was a traitor. And that's basically his excuse.
And he mentioned Tony too. He said something about like he didn't want to do like what Tony did, going around and like naming names here and there and everywhere, and that
Right,
he
saying
wanted
all
to
these
do it when he
names.
was truly sure of it. And it was
Yep.
at that moment.
Yep. And then
Yep.
Nikki speaks up and says, I think Rob's a faithful.
Right?
He's just too good at this game. And it's not a good game move if you come in right away and you take out your own.
I mean, it's true, but he's
Right.
also a really good game player.
And then Sam says to everybody that if Rob lives through the night, that he's a murderer.
See, I took that differently. He says like the attention goes to if he isn't dead tonight, then they will be on him tomorrow for sure. I didn't know exactly who he was talking about.
I mean, I took it as him calling him a murderer, I guess, because that's how I wrote it down. But yeah,
Yeah.
it was very vague and
And I
confusing.
have to say this too. The news people that were writing like the blogs about like this episode, they thought that like Sam had his moment finally in this episode, and I'm like, okay, we saw him in the shower and he said two other things. Like this was not a moment for Sam. Sam said one thing, really, like the entire time.
Yeah, that was like the only thing he said the whole night
Yes,
or the
but
whole
apparently
show.
he got his moment in the sun. And I'm like, oh my god,
And
you
it made
guys
no
really don't
sense
have it.
because
Yes.
I replayed it a few times. Like, is he talking about Rob? And then I just decided, screw it, he's talking about Rob.
Yeah.
So it's not even a definite that he was talking about Rob. It was just weird. He was talking
Yeah.
in riddles.
He was.
Um, so then Ciara says that she is a faithful, and the reason she was just so shaken, and then that made her put her guard up, which is so Ciara. Anybody who's watched Ciara on
Yes.
Bravo, Ciara always has a guard up. That's just who she is as a person. So
Yep.
she's
She was
acting
hurt
like
by a lot of
herself.
guys too, and that's
Yeah.
why. So she's just kind
Yep.
of like that in Summer House.
Yep. Exactly. I mean, she was from her very first season. She had a guard up. And it's been awesome that people have, been able to pick at that wall and kind of get, some of it down. But that's just who she is. She just automatically has a guard up anyway.
Yep.
Um, so Nikki says it's weird that you voted for me. Or no, says to Nikki that it was weird that Nikki voted for Ciara. Ciara says, I think you're a traitor. Or Nikki
Yep.
says to Ciara that she thinks Ciara's a traitor. Ciara thinks, well, I think you are, Nikki. Because Nikki's so even keel and wasn't even shocked about Bob the drag queen and asks Nikki if she has
Yes.
any other emotions at all.
Yes. I thought that was great. And Nikki like rolls her eyes and kind of like shrugs it off, and I'm like, you're not helping yourself,
I
girl. You
know.
really aren't.
That was nope. I don't have any other emotions for this show anyway.
Yes.
Go back to my shock face. That was my emotion.
Yes.
I've played my emotion. We're done. Your most Glenn Crack. Yay! Glenn Crack is mostly here to dump on Sandoval. Oh, don't you mean Carolyn's faces?
I'm
Oh,
here to
Danielle's
dunk on
faces are so
Sandoval too.
chaotic. And Carolyn's so
Carolyn's faces are chaotic. She's looks like she's lost all the time too.
and then Nikki also said that if the coffin theory was true, that there had to be a traitor in the coffin, Nikki knows that she's not a traitor, so it would have to be Ciara.
Yes. And she also
Chrishell
says
then
like she's like not all faithfuls are bubbly or talk a lot, and some
right,
faithfuls are just like her, and she indicates herself, kind of a thing. It's like
right.
okay,
So then
sure,
Chrishell speaks up about the car ride finally, and she's scared, but she speaks up and
I know.
explains Danielle's shock face and how it, ran through her like ice, and um, she thinks that Nikki is a traitor. That she picks up on
Yes.
energy and said that Nikki's changed when Bob left, and that she has to be a traitor. Nikki says nope,
Yeah.
she's a faithful.
And she hasn't changed since day one, but she has.
Right.
And then Bob H says his little piece, and he's like, I just want to play devil's advocate. And he goes after Rob again.
This was
And he
great.
says, this is where he says the part like, if he was a traitor, Rob would come in and establish his dominance and
Yep.
would be the most badass move. And that's something that Rob would do. And he
Yep.
knows Rob. And he nailed that one.
It was great. And the Rob says, well, yeah, that could have happened, but he's like, that could have happened, but it didn't. But it didn't.
Yeah, and then
I wish I
Alan
could do
shuts
his
it
voice
down.
justice. Because I hear it in my head, and when it comes out of my mouth, it doesn't sound like what's going on in my head. But he just cracks me up, his voice. So then after that, we've got the vote, and it was almost unanimous.
Almost.
Only Nikki and Efron, Dylan Efron, voted another way.
Yes.
Nikki voted for
Yes.
Wes, and Efron voted for Gabby.
No,
Otherwise,
Nikki voted for Ciara.
Nikki. Oh, wait, Carolyn. Yep, Nikki voted Ciara. I was looking at the
Yeah, but
wrong.
I was shocked that
Thank you.
Dylan voted Gabby.
I was too. I've got Nikki written down here so many times, I got my lines
I
confused.
know. It was so close. It was literally almost unanimous.
Yeah, it was almost except basically because Nikki's not going to vote for herself. So it would have been unanimous if Dylan had not voted for Gabby. Then everybody would
I
have
think
voted for
that
Nikki
like
but
threw a
Nikki.
wrench though for next week. Like, why did Dylan pick that? People are going to be asking him why.
Right. But he sat there and said, well, I think it's Gabby. I'm not going to
Yeah.
go against my own suspicions, and I'm going to say Gabby.
Mm-hmm.
So then Nikki goes into the circle of truth and says she is a faithful. All the ladies are
Yes.
crying. Gabby's crying. Chrishell is
I
crying.
know.
Ciara's crying.
It
Dolores is
was,
crying.
yeah. I can see like it being emotional, but like Nikki was just like, this is a win for her because she gets to go home to her son, but it's a loss for them because they lost a faithful now.
Right. And she was
You
just
made
really
your
upset that
decision.
none of the Bambis defended her.
Yeah.
Didn't you notice that Gabby changed her vote? No, I didn't notice that. Don't say much.
Yes, she did erase it and then she put Nikki, which I was shocked that Gabby even voted for Nikki, but I knew that Gabby had suspicion too.
Could you tell what she changed it from? Hey, Crystal.
I didn't catch that. I just saw that it was erased and like written over kind of a thing.
Oh, wow.
But maybe Kristoff
Interesting.
did.
Interesting. Um, and so then
Or don't
Ciara
say much,
tells
sorry.
no, that's good. Ciara tells the table that she knows that she's next as they all get up from the table. Um,
Yeah.
Derek and Wes talk. Derek tells Wes that he is the only one he trusts 100%. And so he's going to share this with him and says that Rob is so amazing at the game. It's scary that Rob is always watching and thinking and watching everybody's eyes. And he's always looking all around the room and looking at everybody.
But it's true.
It
It's
is true.
very true.
But Derek is doing the same thing, and so is Wes.
And so is Sandoval, but I don't think Sandoval has a brain in his head that he's really comprehending anything.
Right. I'm sure Rob has to be doing it with an intensity that is just so Rob.
Yeah.
um, he says that he wants everybody to think that he's like the cool uncle, but he's just playing so much harder than that. Derek
Yes.
tells the confessional that he is fairly confident that Rob is a traitor, and this is where he says if you take a shot at someone of that caliber, you cannot miss. If Rob is smart, he murders Derek tonight, because if not, Derek is coming for Rob. Boom, boom, boom. I'm like,
Yep.
yes!
I know.
Yes! Let me see you beasts fight each other.
But I'm curious to see because like the way that Danielle was planting the seed with like Carolyn, that's really
Yes.
gonna bite her in the ass.
Well, because
And I'm
then, yeah.
yeah, say
No, you go ahead and
it.
say it, because right after that conversation, they flip over to Efron talking to Carolyn, and you go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Yeah, so Efron and Carolyn are talking, and he tells Carolyn that somebody he trusts came to him and threw Carolyn's name out there, but he can't say who.
Mm.
And she's like, "Oh, please tell me. I swear I won't say anything." He says, "Well, fine, and this will just kind of be a test for you then." And he tells her that it was Danielle that put her name out there, and she is so shocked. She said that all day she was thinking about Rob, but it turns out that it's Danielle trying to create the chaos. She's telling the confessional that all day she was thinking about, how it was Rob, but then it's actually Danielle trying to cause all the chaos and eliminate her
Hmm.
fellow traitors.
Yep.
She promises Rob, or she promises Efron again that she's not going to say a single word. That she's just, and this is also so very Carolyn, she's just trying to find people that she can work with. And that's so very Carolyn, because the way she made alliances on Survivor was people that came and shared secret information with her. She decided that she was going to be more loyal to them than anybody, because they trusted her enough to share the secret information. So Efron just may have gotten himself a new alliance member if she plays it the way she played it in Survivor.
It will be good to see.
Yes, it will. Um, she
And
tells
Efron likes Boston Rob, so that would work out very well.
right, it would. It would. Um, so yeah, she tells the confessional that I see you, Danielle. She doesn't know if Rob knows any of this, and says that they are not a team.
Yes.
And then the show ends and they start to show previews. And I actually watched about 3 seconds of the previews, but I'm sure you watched them, so please tell.
Actually, I cut the previews off.
Oh my
Honestly,
God.
I
Oh my
did.
God. So I only watched for a second and I got so excited. But Carolyn's in the Tourette's telling them, "We are not a team. We are not a team. You guys are not my teammates right now. I want to kill both of you."
Oh, it's gonna be so good then.
Carolyn. So, and I didn't watch any more of it. I clicked it off right then because I felt like I was cheating. And yeah.
I know. I tried not to this time because last time I just felt like I was cheating too, looking at the
Right.
previews.
But I am kind of glad I caught that, but because that'll happen right at the very beginning of the show. So, yes, that's going to be exciting.
Yes, I can't wait. It's
Uh,
getting so good. I can't believe Sandoval made it this far though. That's like really my thing. It's like,
I
how
know.
have they
And Glenn
not?
Crack. Glenn Crack confirms Tom has no brain, right?
He doesn't. He has like the brain of like a pea where like everything revolves around him and that's all he sees. And that's it. That's
You
it.
missed it. We got a picture of his shock face. Let me put it up.
Yes.
Oh, first, we got to put that up because we have another traitor eliminated.
And Glenn, did you see that Schwartz and Sandoval are no longer friends?
For
Dun, dun,
good? Oh,
dun.
good.
I need to do a little bit more investigation, but I will be talking about it.
Oh, good. I
Well, the
mean,
bar is no longer a thing, so
right.
that was their like connection, really.
Tom always took advantage of the other Tom, but the other Tom was so stupid he didn't care. Just like whatever.
Yeah.
So,
And I don't think the girlfriends like each other, like Victoria and Schwartz's girlfriend. I don't think they like each other, so
oh.
I think that's a thing. Though Katie never liked Sandoval, and for whatever reason, like Schwartz had an alliance with like Sandoval, and I never got that because it's like you should be picking your wife or your girlfriend, even at the time, over like your asshole best friend. Like literally, he got him in so much trouble all
Yeah.
the time.
He destroyed the business.
Yeah,
His careless
yeah,
actions ruined their business
it did.
because he just thought
But
he could do whatever he wants.
Sandoval kind of needs the money because he has a lawsuit going on right now, and he kind of needs that in his favor because it's not looking too well for him.
God, that
So
lawsuit is so stupid.
it is. It very much is. I think it's more like on Sandoval than anyone, and why she even went after Ariana as well is beyond me. But I feel like it's also a door for her because she left it open in like the lawsuit that she can go after anybody else. And even if you read like the deposition, like it was she left it she kept mentioning NBC Bravo, she mentioned James, she mentioned all these other people, and she stopped her podcast, right? Well, I found out today she did a new episode, so I will be covering that as well because she just has to talk about the James and Allie DV situation, like, which I get because she was in a relationship with James, but like can't you just go away already?
Wow.
And I knew that she would do this. I knew she would pull something like this, like come back to talk about something. I knew she wasn't done with this podcast.
Right. Right. I mean, I guess I shouldn't be surprised.
Oh, and if you didn't see my short, and I told Kooch about this. So Lala did her podcast, and she's totally watching Traitors 3. And she's been so against doing any other like kind of like show outside of really Vanderpump or the Bravo sphere kind of thing, like the Valley, like those are the only two shows. She did say that if the Traitors wanted her, she would do it. So I'm rooting for the Traitors to have Lala on next season because I think she would make a really good traitor, to be honest.
I agree. I'd like to see her on it. And I think I don't know why they wouldn't want her since she's like,
Right?
I mean, she's as big of a name as Tom is on the show, so I don't see why they wouldn't want
And
her.
she causes a lot of controversy.
She
She's a
is,
good,
yes.
pick there. So
Agree.
we'll
So
have to wait and
yeah.
see on that one.
And Pippi, you're right. Sam does not have the Britney money anymore either, so he needs it too.
And that's the thing too, like these women are kind of like excluding him out, but like clearly Sam is smart enough that he knew how to get like Britney out of that conservatorship that she was in for how many freaking years, and then got her out of the conservatorship to be able to like kind of take advantage of her. And now they're getting a divorce. And I think it's all a ploy for her money. He was a backup dancer for years. So they can't leave Sam like out of this, though he is kind of dumb in the show, like from everything that we've seen. But he is smart when it comes to like plotting against people or throwing people under the bus for his own benefit. So
Oh,
we got to
wow.
watch out for Sam.
I didn't realize that he had that much of a role in helping her get rid of the conservatorship.
Oh, yes. Like that was like when he got together with her, that's when like she fought to get out of the conservatorship and it was granted and all of that. And then there was like a point where like she was doing really crazy dances with the knights on Instagram.
I remember that.
And people were like, is Sam going to be like her new conservator? And it was like, and then they thought, like, okay, some of these Instagrams that she was posting were old. And they were thinking, did Sam kill Britney? Like, that was a weird conspiracy theory. And of course, like, he didn't. But come to find out, like, they were having trouble already in paradise and they're not together anymore. So Not like, I don't think he got her out of the conservatorship. I think he pushed her in that direction. I know she wanted to, but I feel like she got, I don't want to say balls, but she got like the balls to actually go for it for once, kind of a thing, because of him. But that's just my
Having
opinion. We
somebody,
can agree to disagree. It's all good.
having somebody in your corner definitely
Yes.
can give you more motivation if you feel, if you're
Yes.
not alone.
Yeah. And their whole wedding thing was so weird. It's still so weird to me. Like, the ex-boyfriend of Britney like showed up and like jumped over the wall, and like nobody was there, but everything was set up, and like he felt that it was a weird kind of a thing, and he was like, are the people gonna actually be here? And they ended up taking him out, but like nobody was there at that point. So he kind of felt like the wedding was like a whole setup. There's so many weird conspiracies with Sam and Britney. And I'm not even a
Interesting.
Britney fan. I just know about it.
Yeah, I haven't really followed any of the Britney stuff. I was a little bit out of the age range of the Britney life, so I just never got into it.
He's not smart enough to get her out of it. He was just there at the right time. Okay, I agree. Yeah, the wedding was weird. See? Yep, it was very weird. Even the ex-boyfriend, like, why would you show up and jump over a wall? Like, you hadn't been with Britney in years. Like, you were like one of her first ex-boyfriends. Like, it was so weird. And it wasn't
Was
like
this
Kevin Federline. I don't even know the guy's name. He was like a nobody.
um so this is her third marriage, right? This was her third
Something
marriage?
like that. Yeah,
Because I
something
know
like
she had
that.
that one quickie wedding, and then Kevin Federline,
Yep.
and
And
then
then
this
Sam.
one. Okay.
Which that first quickie wedding was the first ex-husband, I believe, that jumped over the wall.
Okay. All right.
Yes. He was a clout chaser too, though,
Okay, yeah,
in my
because that
opinion.
marriage, like, was absolved, like, super quick or dissolved or whatever the word is. Gone, went
Yeah.
bye-bye.
Yeah.
Okay. Excuse me. So, I think you got anything else?
No, that's really it. We got a lot to still go and see, and
We
though we're on
sure
episode
do.
5, we got a lot more to go.
And I seriously cannot wait for next week and see where Carolyn is going and what they say when she says that she just wants to kill both of them.
I know. Who do you think she's gonna side more with, Danielle or Rob, when it comes
Rob.
down to it?
She's gonna
That's what
have
I
to. She
thought
needs
too.
Rob now.
Yeah, and then she just found out that Danielle kind of threw her under the bus.
Exactly. So she's gonna have to deal with Rob. But she's able to. She's great at dealing with people she doesn't like. So and I think
Well,
she'll
I
see
can't wait
Danielle
to
as more of a
see.
threat.
She is kind of a threat. And I think Danielle just, she has her plans set way in advance. And usually with like the Trader show, if you have a plan set in advance, it always does like a whole 360.
Yep.
So I don't think her plans are really going to work out. And I think she's just jumping ahead of the game at this point.
And I wonder if Derek is going to be able to put Rob's name out there more too and make him more of a suspect.
We'll have to wait and
I know we
see.
will find out. So with that, I am not going to play the song outro. I will just go ahead and end the live because the outro is too long for the
Yes.
outro.
I
So
hope you guys have a great weekend.
yes, thank you everybody for coming. Have a great weekend, and we will see you next Saturday, same time, same place.